Hi, my name is Dr. Tsegmid. I'm the founder and the lead researcher at New Wind Archive project. So this project it has a very big goal, but we have started a year ago, and we're starting to see some of the outcome of the work we've been doing since last year. And this project is the first English language research archive profiling and including professional Mongolian artists living today, and we might also profile artists who have passed away, but we feel the works and the legacy they have left is very important to to profile, to spread the word about them. So it's a long-term project, and we would like to keep doing it. And the second the artist I'm going to introduce to you all is Mongolian artist Azjargal Davaadorj. So Azjargal represents the wave of artists who were born just before and after 1990, where Mongolia chose to, leave socialism behind and move on to the democratic society. So the last, decades were for Mongolian society has been complicated. It has been sometimes very difficult, for Mongolians in a sense. But at the same time, Mongolians has the resilience that needed to go through these processes. And Azjargal trained as an artist, and now it's been more than almost 15, 16 years since he graduated from the university, and he studied Mongolzoruk. So Mongolzoruk means Mongolian painting, literally, but it's a very distinctive form of Mongolian national traditional painting. Mongolzoruk is a very distinctive form of painting. It differs from other Asian paintings in many ways, but it has origin in Buddhist Tanka paintings over the last probably around 100 years. And it kind of first came out to portray everyday lives of Mongolians, but now it's kind of developed into a very unique style where Mongolian artists like Azjargal uses the actual style of the painting technique to comment on the society, and also to approach actually very advanced concepts and ideas, which are not always historical. And in Azjargal's case, he not only paints, he also takes photography, and also he's very interested in carrying out his short form drawings. He does in very on site and very fast. So as he referred us to etudes. And so he has this number of activities, could be seen as multidisciplinary artist in a sense. But it's quite new. I mean, before, I would say 1990s, for example, a young person chooses painting, and then he or she kind of sticks to painting only, or choose sculpture, and then they have to be doing always sculptures. But that has really changed in the last 30 years now. And an artist is not just someone who does one type of artworks. An artist is someone who has something to say, and also uses variety of techniques and processes to create that artwork. And one of his main topics he's interested in, he's being engaged in for the last almost 10 years now, is the idea of how the urbanization is affecting and changing Mongolian society and Mongolians. So we are famously people who has a long tradition of nomadism, and we also have large landmass, where probably one of the few living remaining nomadic nations in the world. but at the same time, the modernity is coming for us, and then we kind of having in this position where the changes are slow and also fast at the same time. It's not one way; it's kind of two ways. You know, the urbanization affects the rural lives, and rural lives affects the urbanization. And where are the people, and what are the artists are doing? What kind of what are they thinking about? And that's where artists like Azjargal comes in. With their in a sense, some of his paintings, when someone looks at it for the first time, it looks very colorful. It's kind of almost like a this miniature, very particular, paintings. But if you look closely, and then if you actually think about and analyze about it, they're not just these colorful paintings. They really say a lot about what's going on, and what is his position as a young person, living through this very complicated process, which many of us do not know fully where it is leading. So that is very interesting, but we don't have to know everything to comment on the state of this situation. Azjargal is also someone who I think is a hybrid nomad. Why I say that? Because he was born in the countryside in Dondro, but then he moved to the capital city of Ulaanbaatar to study for his art university. He's living in the capital, and he established in the capital. But at the same time, he spends a lot of time in the countryside, where he specifically and intentionally plan times in countryside. He travels. He also does drawings and paintings on site, and he really consciously try to become part of the life that many Mongolians who lives in the city, who was born in the city, sometimes forgets about it. So in a sense that he is also making effort to be part of this of a life that our ancestors lived. So his perspective on Mongolian society and where Mongolia is, and Mongolians are, is very, very, I would say, deep, and also it comes from a very unique perspective where he sees the lives of Mongolians in the far countryside locations. He also sees what's happening in different parts of the bigger cities as well. So I think that's a very a good position to have kind of this very holistic and full view of the society where his ideas and art comes from. And especially the project he's planning right now is a large-scale project aimed at children, in different locations in Mongolia, in the countryside, also in the cities. As our society has advanced, that we have access to mobile phones, tablets, and all kinds of screens we have. And of course, it's not as even as in a Western country in Mongolia, but mobile phone use, the social media use is very, very high, and especially the social media use is one of the highest in Asia, actually. So that also brings in a question where children's idea of Mongolian society and Mongolians kind of come from screens. Those ideas do not come from travels or experiences at all, actually. So it's very limited. In that sense, he is bringing you know, this idea of, you know, what if, you know, he collaborates and, you know, teach children to do these short form drawings, you know, it's called etudes, right? So in under 15-20 minutes, they can be phone free, and then children can actually observe what's around them, the landscapes or the buildings, and so they have this concentration and focus on, you know, visualization of those, you know, landscapes or a scene, you know, in front of them. And that's also a very interesting intervention, in my opinion, you know, to first to have the idea, the second to do something about it, you know. And because he knows that the Mongolia is still, you know, famous for its, you know, diverse landscapes and harsh, you know, temperatures, and, you know, and I think, you know, a Mongolian steppe is one of the, you know, most extraordinary, amazing views, you know, in the world. You know, I still think that. But at the same time, there's, you know, not many children of Mongolia has that chance to actually see that landscapes and enjoy that and really take in, you know, their own the beauties and the senses of being a Mongolian, you know. So he's, you know, trying to bring that to them and have, you know, a bit more time away from screens if possible, and to show them the alternative form of engagement to the environment, you know. So I think that's a very interesting idea in a project.